I'd buy that for $1.
Oh, yeah. See, we plan ahead. That way we don't do anything right now. Earl, explain it to me.
Now, say my name.
Looks like you got some kind of alternate universe in there or something.
Yeah. All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. That's never happened to me before.
Shit. I've been waiting for you.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Two of you need help.
Yes, we certainly do. So we got Steve and Chad joining us this week. Thank you both for joining us. Steve, how you been doing there, buddy? You look pretty happy right now.
I'm doing great, Jeff. Thank you for asking. You got me in the middle. Oh, my crown fell off.
The king has lost his crown.
I'm in the middle of Chronic Con, the inaugural first ever Kevin Smith convention here in Chicago. 3 days of absolute joy. Religion is important, and going to church on Sunday is what I'm going to do tomorrow, my friends.
If you are at least able to wake up tomorrow.
Buddy Christ, there were at least 3 Buddy Christs in the house at
Nice.
Chronicon. Kevin Smith, that Kevin Smith, not our Kevin Smith, that Kevin Smith, Jay Muse, the whole Smith family, Harley Quinn and Jennifer, everybody. We were all there, and we were all us. This is a spectacular weekend.
Oh, cool. Glad to see that everybody is there then.
Tommy Chong was in the house. I got some audio.
Did you smell him a mile away? No.
My wife gets there and goes, "Where's the hotel?" Oh, it's that way. Welcome to Chronicon, everybody. It was fantastic, just awesome. Everybody's so happy.
Good.
Everybody's so glad to be there. Hopefully, this will be a huge success and will continue annually across the country. I got Harley Quinn to call my son in Asheville, North Carolina, to share the joy since he couldn't be with me here in Chicago this weekend. He's still dealing with all of the mess that is Asheville, North Carolina, and boy, oh boy, I am on cloud 9. That is not a pot joke.
At least not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Gotta wait till you get Munchie for Taco Bell in about an hour.
Oh, I'm not watching Munchie. That is for sure.
Oh,
that is not on Kevin's docket for tonight, I hope.
No, but what if we watched Munchies one night? Like, what if we had a group watch of Munchies, the original, not the shitty remake? Not, I don't want to say shitty because Wynerski be thy name, but we should watch the original Munchies one night. That movie's so fucking funny.
Hey, does that mean watch along, everybody? We are looking at doing some of those.
that could be fun.
It's a Harvey Korman flick, isn't it?
Harvey Korman?
Yeah.
Or Roger Corman?
Harvey.
Oh.
Got me on that one. I've only seen bits and pieces of Munchies, so
I don't know.
I haven't.
Roger
seen
didn't
probably
touch that
30
one.
years.
Roger was busy figuring out Fantastic Four.
There you go.
Fantastic
Perfect.
Four.
Done.
You know, we could show that too because nobody could shut us down.
Yeah, everybody's seen that. It's public access basically on YouTube. There's like 9 channels that are airing it, no problems whatsoever.
Not the worst of the Fantastic Four movies.
I think it's the best one so far.
Except for The Incredibles. The Incredibles is the best one.
Yes.
Yeah. Totally
Yes,
agree.
it is a Harvey Korman film.
There you go.
Fuck you
Problem
guys.
solved.
Was that a Wikipedia search, Kevin? Because everybody knows Wikipedia's spot on.
IMDb, motherfucker. IMDb.
Them too. All right, Chad, how you doing this week? What you up to?
I am right smack dab in my 31 days of horror movies.
How you
Actually
doing
got-
on that?
Got 3 in yesterday. Very
Nice.
proud of myself. Evil Dead, because you have to. The first of the Resident Evil movies, And then just for shits and giggles, watched the original 13 Ghosts.
Ooh,
The one from the 60s, yeah.
I've never seen that one. Is it fun?
Yeah.
I
It
haven't either.
is.
Yeah, it
it
is.
actually
I
really
kind of
is.
want it though. Yeah.
It's on Tubi.
Good one.
Oh,
Is
it's
it?
on Tubi?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's on Tubi.
Okay.
I need to go on there more often.
Yeah, you mentioned 13 Ghosts. Shannon Elizabeth is in town for Chronicon. Speaking of the remake of 13 Ghosts. Yeah.
Tony Shalhoub, let's go.
Yep.
Everyone was awesome in that movie. I don't care what anybody says. Like,
I fucking love that movie.
13
It's-
Ghosts and
it's
House on Haunted
great.
Hill were amazing flicks.
House on
Yeah,
Haunted
I-
Hill was okay. I like 13
I
Ghosts way
haven't
more.
seen that. I haven't
The-
seen House on Haunted Hill. I've seen the original, and
Yeah.
I've seen Rift Tracks Live.
Everything up until the third act is amazingly fun. Like, it's brutal and savage. And they get to the third act and they're like, we lost the budget.
Like most movies.
I don't know where it went.
Or they just
Oh
took
my
the
God.
checkbook away from them.
No, they literally like put like a cheap animated Rorschach in as the monster.
Really?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Okay.
Oh god.
That was the
Now,
evil
now I
monster
have
at
to
the
watch
end.
this movie.
Otherwise, the movie's fucking awesome. Like,
Yeah.
well worth the price of admission when I saw it in the theater. And then I
remember
saw
liking
that
it.
ending, and I was like, okay, this Tay
Yep.
Diggs guy's still cool.
You want to hear my horror movie pitch that I made to all that would listen today at Chronicon?
Do
Let's
it.
hear it.
Let's hear it.
Brian O'Halloran, who played Dante in the original Clerks, all of the Clerks. Spoilers, he dies in Clerks 3. And Jeff Anderson, who plays Randall in all of the Clerks movies, came up with a great idea for how to go forward with the story. If you remember, Elias in Clerks 3 becomes a Satanist. What if Elias got his hands on the Necronomicon and
God.
raised Dante from the dead in the episode
Dante
of
the
Clerks?
Deadite.
Uh-huh. And Brian O'Halloran was telling us about Jeff Anderson's idea, and we were all, yeah, that's a good idea. He then went on to say he would love to make more Clerks the animated series, because
Fuck
that was
yes.
fantastic. We all would really love to see more Clerks animated.
Oh yeah.
So I put those two ideas together, and I said to Brian, you know, Brian, you could do both of those things together and call it Clerks Reanimated.
Ah,
I see what you did there.
I published that idea. If it happens, I am taking full credit for that because it's right there. It's right there.
It's just sitting there.
Jeffrey Combs goes, and I get a quarter for every time you say it.
That's my horror movie pick of the month right there.
Not bad. My idea was always eliminate the world's caffeine supply and watch what happens.
It's a very slow film.
Yeah.
3 days later, everybody's killing each other.
Once those caffeine headaches kick in, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
3 days later, cigarettes are gone.
And 3 days after that, there goes all the sugar supply.
Yep. Just a mothball effect.
I think that's the basis for Stephen King's Under the Dome.
I think so.
Yeah.
Those of you who have read that, their migraine headaches play a huge part in that story.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because of the pressure?
No, just because one of the characters suffers from migraine headaches and goes on a murderous rampage.
Yep.
As one does.
As one
I-
does.
Couldn't go on a murderous rampage when I've really got a nasty migraine. I can barely move.
Yeah, right.
I'll flail at you.
No, man. Just opening my eyes is like, why the fuck are you making me do this?
Why do I have
Like stabbing
eyes?
the eyes out.
Yeah.
Riding the storm out? No. Stabbing the eyes out.
Stabbing the eyes out.
Stabbing the eyes out.
I've been watching streams this week where everybody's sending like super chats of like Bon Jovi lyrics or Beyonce lyrics to everybody, and it's just wild.
Please
Trying to
don't
get people
send
who
us
hate
any
specific
of that.
artists to read super chats that involve like lyrics. It's really funny. I was dying like a week ago Friday during like Friday Night Tights.
All right. That's my
There you
report from Chronicon. I sent you guys some audio. You've got the Jersey girl who is in town and was happy to do some audio, along with the Austin from the 4:30 movie, who is
Okay. I still need to see that.
yes, you do. Yes, you need to see it a lot. You are the right customer for that movie for sure. If you enjoy the Kentucky Fried Movie or Amazon Women on the
Yeah.
Moon and the idea of trailers for really shitty movies inside of your really good movie, Sister Sugar Walls is the best fake trailer maybe ever. Should I explain Sister Sugar Walls?
Kevin's got this look on his face of, what are you telling me, baby?
But Nazi werewolf hookers. What the hell?
Grindhouse.
This is
And Machete. I mean, in general. I mean,
Machete was a good freaking movie.
Yeah.
What if your nun from school had to raise money for the orphanage and became a hooker at night? That
another nunsploitation movie. Gotcha.
is the story of Sister Sugar Walls, as portrayed by Harley Quinn Smith.
Oh my.
It's the best.
Mouthwood.
It is the best. The Mother Superior, of course, played by her mother, Jennifer Smith, and the John situation played by Jason Mewes. Thank you.
Oh.
Good night.
Oh.
Oh.
Perfect. It's utterly perfect.
Kevin.
Godfather?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Her very close godfather. Yes, sir. It's utterly perfect.
Oh, I love them
You okay,
all.
Kev?
I love that family so much.
Hanging out with them all weekend has been fantastic.
They are a
That
gift.
is-
No doubt. All right, do we have a popcorn bucket? Can you skip to the popcorn bucket? I'm going to bed.
I could skip to the popcorn bucket somewhere. Where is it?
Yep.
Here it is. Bang!
Ladies and gentlemen, popcorn bucket news for October
12th,
Where is this
2024.
I
mean-
think the little one goes on your schwanz.
Oh my god.
That's my guess. Like, if it doesn't go there, I want to put it there.
But so quiet, Kevin, the biggest question is, how do you take care of the popcorn bucket?
Take its head off.
Running gag, everybody.
For those of you
Almost
first
literally.
joining us, this is the popcorn bucket segment.
Oh my
2024, the year of the popcorn bucket.
God, it reminds me of the goop thing you did 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
Coop.
oh.
This
All
chair
right.
smells like it really wasn't the chair.
Dude.
Steve,
Ah.
thank you.
Yep. Hey, before you go, let everybody know what you do and where to find you at.
TooMuchScrolling.com every Tuesday, movie of the week, book of the week, and more ridiculousness. This week, a huge report on Chronic Con and all of the fun that we've had all weekend and all of the chances that I've had to just enjoy our community and find out all about life and its mysteries with Kevin Smith, that Kevin Smith, not our Kevin Smith, and all of the huge community of people.
Right on. Well, thank you for joining us, Steve. You have a good night, buddy.
Good night.
It's 4:20 somewhere, everybody.
Yep. I'm surprised he didn't get a contact high while he was there.
Who's to say that he didn't?
Yeah,
We
maybe
don't
that's why he
know.
had to call it a night so early.
Well, it was either direct contact or secondary contact. Might have been
Yep.
both.
Or how we got him to stay up so late. One of the two.
Yeah. For him, late is 11:15, everybody.
Yeah.
8:15 is late for me, and I'm not a teacher, man.
Well, how about you teach us something else, Kevin? And let's get into some headlines.
All right. As per usual, the bad news first. The bad news is we've got a couple shows that have been canceled this week. One of them good, not so well, let's see. The first one is Chaos.
Oh, I didn't catch this, actually.
I didn't know anything about this, but the premise sounds cool. Like I would have watched this had I known about this. Like it's a show about the Greek gods with Jeff Goldblum starring as Zeus.
Yep.
But they used it as an excuse to call it Chaos. Where was the marketing for this, baby? Like I would have watched this. This makes me think kind of like Mystery Science Theater, where it's like, maybe they put the money elsewhere instead of marketing.
I have no idea. That's so weird. And it's only literally been maybe 5 or 6 weeks since it's been out. I must not be doing very well on finishing the show or getting any subscribers.
I feel
people are probably watching the very first episode or two and not finishing at all. Because Netflix has a metric, and they usually will give a show a second season if it does any remotely good.
Yeah, kinda. And it's got Jeff Goldblum in it, so this is not something that most people would turn their nose at. Shit, enough people watched The World According to Jeff Goldblum on Disney Plus that that got picked up for a second season, I think.
Yeah,
and that show was different.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of comes down to since this is placed in modern era, and not a true Greek mythology thing. Kind of makes you wonder what's really going on. Maybe the show really isn't that good. I haven't seen it, so I can't really speak to that. But he's still got star power, but I guess not enough star power.
No,
even Steve Carell's Space Force got canceled, and I like that show.
I heard that was good.
Mm-hmm.
But
him, John Malkovich, yeah. And well, of course, they canceled my 1899 show, which was from the same people who did the Dark show. Oh well.
The Dark show?
Yeah, it's just a show called Dark. It's a time travel sort of show. Very different, very, very interesting, and very European. It's set largely in Germany, but it's really good.
Nice. Very nice. Okay, so that was kind of the sad news. Not so sad news, at least not for me anyway, because I don't care. Velma got canceled after a second season.
Yeah.
I thought
I'm
it got
surprised
canceled after the first.
I'm surprised it got a second season.
Because
with most animated shows, they order 20 episodes. They cut this into two seasons by doing that. So 10 episodes each season and a Halloween special.
Okay, so yes, that makes more sense because it immediately got. I know there's review bombing, but this legitimately got review bombed unanimously everywhere. Everyone hated it.
Everybody hated this show.
And
shit.
I remember everybody saying a lot of ladies were getting right behind it, saying it was going to be good. All the people that were really behind this show, they weren't. They were offended by it. They were bored by it. They were appalled by it. Nobody liked this show. So to find out that it had that second season, I was like, God damn. But yes, that makes more sense that it was already there and they just had to put it out there anyway.
Well, that's what they've done with your Harley show. When they say, "Hey, this is coming back for seasons 3 and 4," it's like, well, it's really like a typical 20 episode order because you have to.
Yeah.
So
that's why I tell you the first season or the first 2 seasons of Harley Quinn are fucking dynamite. So, because those are the ones that were anyway.
I'll trust you on that. I couldn't make it through that, so.
But it's got Lord Bane. Anyway.
There was things I liked, but for the most part, the show wasn't great. But as far as like Velma goes, I watched the first episode and I'm like, this is the dumbest shit I think I have seen in a very long time.
I watched 2 episodes and I wish I could have regained the time in my life that I wasted.
If there was a worse show than Acolyte, it would be Velma.
Yeah.
Remind me to come back to Acolyte later.
Hey, we're not done talking Acolyte, babies. Woo!
No, because everyone wants to sit there and fucking talk about how the go woke, go broke shit for Acolyte. And again, I maintain it had nothing to do with that shit because Agatha has gone woke and not going broke because they didn't actually spend any money apparently. But it's like gotten like incredibly like much more enjoyable the further it's gone along. And so it's like Acolyte was just shit. It was just shit. It had nothing to do with politics, your personal views or whatever. It had nothing to do with it. It was just poop.
Yep.
So Velma was also poop from what I gathered. I didn't want to watch it. I don't like Mindy. I just don't.
Yeah,
I didn't like
I didn't even like her on fucking The Office. So.
None of the characters on that show were worth anything. I mean, there was nobody who you actually liked.
No, not really. Well, I mean,
Office? I thought
no,
I would disagree. Oh, Velma. Okay.
No, Velma. I'm not talking shit about The Office. But Velma, no, that was just a steaming pile of dog shit.
Yeah.
Jinkies.
God.
Well,
it sounds like how they ended this show is they basically sent her to hell and then they resurrected her in the Halloween special. It's like, oh, interesting. I could care less how it worked out. I was just like, well, they did that, huh?
I don't know how any of it played out. I don't want to know.
We should have been writers in the 50s. Like, we could have made a fortune as fucking screenwriters in the 50s because the shit they come up with now is just like
a 10-year-old could do better.
This must be the SpongeBob generation finally getting to the workforce. I don't know. Like,
it's more Patrick than SpongeBob.
Flashy lights, not very cohesive. Anyway, on to better news.
Later, bitch, Velma.
Monarch is getting a second season. And not only is it getting a second season, but it's getting Amber Midthunder as an addition to that season. Super duper happy about that because she kicks ass. Yes, she totally kicks ass as an actress. If you haven't seen Prey, go check it out because she owns that fucking flick.
And also check out a review on our channel on Prey. We got a fun, quick one.
Shill. We should come back to that and do a 0 point at some point.
I'm thinking when we do a Predator month, we will.
A Predator month, except for the ones that we didn't like.
Which means Alien versus Predators are completely off the table.
Snap. Anyway,
you have to pay us to do that one, everybody.
I don't think they're going to have her fighting a monster in this one, but I would pay to see her fight Godzilla because paying to see her watch to fight the Predator was pretty goddamn awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. They did it smart, so they didn't girl boss her.
That's cool. Now, was the first season of Monarch any good? I don't have Apple TV, so I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet either. I do want to. I've heard it's kind of like slow according to a lot of people, but I'm game to still watch it myself. Probably get it on physical media or find some way to watch it otherwise, but I do want to see it. And Apple's got money for days. If this did remotely good for them, I can see them bringing it back. So This is good news.
Yeah, that makes me happy.
Hey, more Godzilla is always a good thing as long as we still get more Godzilla -1s. Too.
Yeah.
-1s and 3s.
Well, it's weird. I did watch that Godzilla Kong New Empire. And
did you?
yeah, I watched that on the flight out when I was going to see my dad. And when I watched it, I'm like, this is kind of dumb. But by the end of the movie, I'm like, you know what? I actually enjoyed watching it, but it wasn't very good. So
that
it was one of those weird.
The entire MonsterVerse.
It's like a total popcorn flick.
That's cool then. And
so you can have your counterbalance of like goofy shit and then serious. It works.
If I could sit through the new Mortal Kombat movie and be like, you know what? I did enjoy that. I'm sure I could do this as well. But I don't know. I haven't given it a shot. My kid really likes it, and he's got it on all the time. And so it's like I see bits and pieces of it as I'm running around the house cleaning shit. And I haven't seen anything that's made my eye roll or anything like that. I've seen a lot of Kong action, I think. I haven't seen much of Godzilla yet.
Okay.
So, but I want to, because I'll never turn my nose at Godzilla unless it's that one.
Gino.
Yeah.
With Matthew Broderick.
We don't speak of that one.
No. The only good thing that ever came of that was Riff Tracks. The Riff Tracks live of that was worth it. But that was about it.
I'll agree with that. That's a whole lot of fish or bullshit.
Fish. I already saw that.
Yep.
So don't put
Tub
that
and
on
Cup.
dick now.
That's what we should call the segment. The Tub and Cup fucks.
The Tub and Cup.
Let them fight.
Just tuck it in there, baby.
Oh.
That would be cool. Anyway. Okay, so Nintendo has announced its new gimmick. And when I say gimmick, I mean Nintendo is the kings of gimmicks. Like the whole idea that they came out with a video game system was a gimmick for them. Like they have this long string of wanting to come out with something new that's going to hook people. And it's never doing the same trick twice. And they've been utilizing video games, of course, since 1980, what? 3, 5? Long before. Yeah. But anyhow, now when it started to spread a little too far was with not the Dreamcast. That was Sega. What was the one that was
Wii U?
No, not Wii U. It was Project Dolphin.
GameCube?
GameCube,
yeah, that was the GameCube.
That was initially supposed to be a transformer. They designed it so it was going to have all these different fucking add-ons to go on to it. And it was supposed to be really fucking cool. When I worked there, I'd seen the prototypes for what they had intended to do for it. And it was really neat. And then to your point, the Wii U, they had a bunch of things. Okay. The Wii U came about because the Wii was not what everyone wanted. Like there was a few bells and whistles with the Wii that people wanted turned on. So the Wii U had HDMI, for example.
Wait. Are you saying it's not something that we wanted?
No, the general video game audience did not want it, but a lot of them liked it. Whatever.
I'm proud of myself for that.
It was a good joke. I liked it.
Yeah, nice.
One of the things
tell by the round of laughter everybody gave me.
Shut up, little
Go
Rich.
clap. Bring back the golf clap, everybody.
So yeah, their new gimmick, the last one that I'd heard about that didn't come about was one of the heart monitor things, the oxygen sensors. That was supposed to be for the Wii. That never happened. This, I don't know how it's going to fix up for the Switch, but it's not. It's not okay.
No,
Alarmo.
the deal with this is this is just an alarm clock that's going to connect to your Nintendo account. You are required to have an internet connection, and you are required to have an account within with Nintendo Online so you can connect to their store. If you have neither of those, I mean, everybody's got an internet connection, but if you don't have a Nintendo account, you have to sign up in order to access any of the tunes that come with it. And this is $100, everybody. So, and it's also got sensors on it. It will adjust to watching you sleeping or any motions in your bed. So that and being connected to the internet, hey, if you're okay with everybody watching what you do with your spouse in bed or by yourself in bed, then you're going to give somebody in Japan a very good time.
So, voyeur clock.
Voyeur clock.
That's more of a clap than a golf clap there.
I suddenly have the urge to go play Watch Dogs. Like, I don't know why.
Hey, honey, grab that little lingerie set you got.
Let everyone see it. No, the one that...
No, there's no reason why I'm moving the clock so it has a better view.
Hey, you guys want to see a dead body?
Sure.
Yep, that'd be Joker 2, baby.
So last week, when you weren't here, we made the bet that it was supposed to be scheduled to make $30 to $40 million. And or I'm sorry, $40 to $50 million, and that it wouldn't even make that. And it didn't. And we were like, oh shit, we were right. But it was a big disaster to the point where it's expected to make like a tremendously amount less on the second week. But what a trend started occurring that they found out was people are calling to get their money back on their tickets that they've pre-purchased.
Ooh.
Or they're not showing up at all. They're getting like people not showing up because they've heard what the ending was.
Yep. Not good.
Well.
So, like, was the quality assurance at Warner Brothers just kind of like, fuck it?
Well, from what it sounds like, Todd Phillips wanted nothing to do with DC at all while making this, and because he gave him $1 billion Joker film, he had some clout to not have the normal processes in place that a studio would have to. Hey, we're going to do some test screenings. Hey, we're going to give this a little watch ourselves and send you some notes. They sent him notes, they were ignored. So Todd Phillips, he did, in all fairness, sounds like he stood his ground and made the movie he didn't really want to make, but he ended up making anyway because they opened up the checkbook.
America.
Hey, make that money, bro. Make that money, bro. But kind of killed the franchise with this. So, and it shouldn't have been a franchise. I like the first one. I am not going to see the second one. I've seen enough clips and I've heard enough discussions to know I will eventually watch it for free, but not anytime soon.
I likely won't even watch it for free. Like, if I wanted to watch The Exorcist 2 for free, I could do that, but I won't.
Yeah.
It's because it's dog shit, and I know it's dog shit, and I don't want to watch dog shit. We don't have time to watch dog shit.
No kidding. Like, even Amy, because we were looking to actually go to the theaters. We like to go like every October/December. We like to go to a movie if it's a nice big event movie, and so every year we do something like that. This one we were really looking forward to. Then we started hearing all the bad press about it, all the bad reviews. And I've seen way more reviews than I usually do on a movie just because I was hearing such bad things about this. And ultimately we just got to the point where I'm not interested because everybody I give credit to, and I really respect their opinions, have basically said, if you even like the first one, this one is actually going to make you not like that movie anymore. And a sequel should never make you hate the movie before it or the original. So be like me with Halloween H2O with the original Halloween. Nearly killed my love for the Halloween franchise with that one. So
Yeah, and then they saved it by bringing Busta Rhymes into the whole franchise.
Yeah, that was not a great follow-up.
Then they're like, oh, fire's out. Let's make sure.
Yeah, let's hire Rob Zombie to make 2 of them.
Well, I am sorry for people that were like really anticipating this. Like,
yeah,
it sounded like it could have been a really like artistically cool flick. I liked the soundtrack. I really did. Like, I listened to a few of the songs. I'm like, hey, this is cool. But it really wasn't about any of that. Like, they just took what you wanted to see and they said, sorry, this isn't that. And then just like crapped the ending out the way that they did. And you're just kind of like, why did anyone go pay to see that? I'm so sorry. Like, it's like that scene in the Clerks animated series, going back to Clerks, where Randall starts fucking calling all these different witnesses in the trial. And it's just like different directors. Didn't like, or starts grilling George Lucas on why Phantom Menace wasn't right. So he gets his $20 back. You know, that just makes me, anyway. The audience is going to want their money back. The audiences have wanted their money back before they've even gone to see the movie. And that's fucked up. Like, how badly do you fuck that up? What's going to be his follow-up to this flick? Both of these guys.
Well, Joaquin, I don't know what they're doing next, honestly. Yeah, Todd's probably like, hey, I got $20 million check, pay my agent, pay my taxes, and I'm just going to sit on a beach earning 20%, drinking martinis.
You've got one of the greatest actors on earth that's alive today, and like his last 5 pictures have been shit.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about
Not
this.
to his fault.
Like,
Not to his fault.
Yeah. Their follow-ups are going to be interesting. Like, before this, Joaquin came out with the Napoleon movie from Ridley Scott, and that wasn't really about Napoleon, from what I understand, and it was okay. But, you know, you start getting into what they're doing next, and you never know. The next film for both those guys could be fucking killer. You know, for years, everybody knew Todd Phillips as the guy who did like comedies like Road Trip and, you know, Old School with Will Ferrell, you know.
Oh. Well.
Maybe you should go back to comedies. I don't know.
I get that he didn't want to make Joker a comedy.
And I don't really have a problem with trying to go down this path, but like, understanding what happened in the second one is just like, what, bro, what are you doing? You're totally deconstructing everything you did in the first one.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, from all accounts, it's not a bad put together movie. The acting's good. The soundtrack's great. It's well shot. Like, it's the story, just period. It's just not connecting with anybody. And that's the main problem with this.
Yeah, and it's not Harley Quinn that you're seeing on the screen.
She's barely in the fucking movie, from what I understand.
Well, they call her Lee.
Yeah.
Lee Quinn, and it's like,
then it's really not Harley Quinn. So
it's not. They keep trying to say, oh, it's a different take on the character. No, it's a different character with the character's name.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's a different character, and you gave it this character's name. Which, fine, whatever. But I didn't like the concept of what they put out at all. And I don't know that Paul Dini even liked it. Like, I've not seen him say anything really positive about it or what they made Harley out to be in this movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Paul. I would rather he kind of take over the next kind of entry in any sort of franchise, or just give him a real Batman animated series and just have him go nuts.
Yeah. But anyway. So, but the only person really not completely upset is fucking Jared Leto. Like, you all like me again. Yay.
No, that's not changed.
No.
There's somebody on Twitter who said, so after this Joker 2 movie, which one of these Jared Leto versions do you like best? And I responded with neither, and I've been getting a bunch of likes on that. Because I still don't like Jared Leto as Joker, period. Joaquin is still a good Joker, even if the second movie proves that he's just not a Joker. Don't care. He's still a great Joker in the first one. So
now, was it Joker that kills him?
Yes.
Is that okay? So stupid.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
but Jared Leto still sucks as Joker.
Yes,
Agreed. He does. And adding him into Justice League didn't fucking help Justice League. I'm sorry, it just didn't.
No, it did not.
Like Batman saying,
I just rolled my eyes at that. I'm like, where's the super fan cut that just takes that out because it's totally unnecessary?
If they could do what they did to Birds of Prey and put the comic book picture over his face,
that would work.
Yeah, and have Batman say, and believe me, I will fucking kill you. That would be okay with me. Just have him say it to that picture. It'd be okay.
Yep.
So.
Agreed.
On to other fucking annoying things.
Too true.
So, rumor has it, not only was it Jonathan Majors' legal issues that got Kang removed from Phase 5 and 6, it was also the fact that people just weren't interested in Kang.
No.
Right?
No. It couldn't be
Dear
the Kang's
God, he was the most popular
character.
villain of all time. Just like Beyonce got the best music video of all time.
I was never a huge fan of Kang in the 80s and 90s. Kang was not like a big thing in the 90s at all. Like, I don't think he had a big role in general.
The only reason I ever knew who Kang was because of the old Secret Wars toy line. And I saw an action figure in the store one day, and I'm like, who's that?
Yes. Because he was like naked and looked weird, but his face was blue.
Yeah. Like green and purple with a blue face. Okay. Whoever designed this guy was obviously colorblind. Moving on.
And high on acid or something.
Yes. Well, that was Jack Kirby.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Hey, he came up with some cool shit, though.
I'm just waiting for people to be like, Jack Kirby didn't do drugs. The new gods is a natural. Anyway. Perfectly natural.
Just natural.
Especially Big Barda. Anyway.
Oh, no. It's all about Calabac and Desaad, man.
Oh, God, yeah, the hair.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
I want to go watch Super Friends now. God damn it.
Good stuff.
So.
But that's why they brought back. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say the only other thing with Doom is they are altering, snipping, if you will.
Yeah.
The relevance of Reed and Victor's relationship in the Fantastic Four. So basically what we're hearing is Doom is going to be the big bad. He's going to erase the multiverse. We know that the big bad is coming. So just like with when Tony knew that Thanos was coming, Reed's going to be the one to find out that Doom is coming, and he's going to be the one to try to stand and stop Doom. It's not going to be that they had a relationship in college. There's not going to be the accident. There's not going to be the hellbent for revenge. Golly, that's a missed opportunity. I think right there they're fucking themselves.
Yep.
I don't agree with this at all.
Like taking Doom out of that family equation, you're lessening Marvel's first family. Doom's part of that family, one way or the other. He is. Shit, he's Val's godfather.
He named her.
Yeah. So,
it's a crux of the whole goddamn dynamic, and you remove that, it's like, yo, how do you make that up? You got to balance it somehow, and they're just not gonna.
No.
Yeah, you're taking away his relevance, I think, in a way. Well,
But there's got to be that familial connection. They're even calling this first fucking steps, and they're the first family of Marvel. Like, well, they're firstly fucking it up right now. I mean, some people have the argument, hey, let's wait and see. Like, anybody who's grown up at all with Fantastic Four knows this is a bad idea. You could be on par with it, and I could be proven wrong when it comes out. Like, we could see this and be like, that actually works. This is pretty dope. But my initial thought is like, this is a bit of a turnoff.
So I think this is going to be like Heath Ledger's Joker. It's not going to be Dr. Doom, but it'll probably be pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't have no doubt that RDJ is going to be very good as Dr. Doom. I have no doubt about that. But he's going off of Pedro Pascal, who is as plain and vanilla and stupid as you can get as an actor. Like, Tony's going to run circles around him on screen. That's not even going to be funny.
No. Yeah, at first I was looking forward to Fantastic Four. The images that we saw from San Diego Comic-Con, especially that fucking fantastic car, just everything I've been seeing since then has just been, I mean, my expectations are now in the negatives, if that's even possible. And just to go off what you were saying, Kev, Reed and Victor are two sides of the same coin. You cannot have one without the other.
Yeah.
Just having that whole thing start with them not even in each other's orbit is fucking asinine. So this is, yeah. I am not gonna be wasting my money at the theaters for this unless I see some just like stellar fucking reviews. And even then, I probably won't.
Yeah.
Like, you want my money, you got to give me something fucking awesome. And I don't want just a visual spectacle. I want a good fucking story.
Well, and if rumors are to be believed with the Fantastic Four that they're going to be coming out with first, Robert Downey Jr. is shooting all of his scenes solo. He is not actually playing off any of the cast. He's doing that separately from the entire shooting and production. So he is only going to be in the movie just a little bit.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I mean, it makes sense, but if people are going there just to watch him for like 30 minutes, you are not getting 30 minutes of...
No.
Yeah,
maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's probably going to be just like 2 or 3 minutes at the very end.
Now watch, it'll be in the post-credits scene.
Yep, it'll be like a reverse Nick Fury from the first Iron Man. I'm here to assemble a league of villains.
You're part of a larger universe.
Or he'll start screaming, Hail Hydra.
That would be off-putting.
You mean like what Captain America did it in the comic books?
This is going to be a shit show.
Again, that's why I'm not as sorry that I stopped reading Marvel comics.
That's why I'm not sorry I stopped reading comics in general.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'll pick up a trade, but other than that,
oh sure, that's much different. But like picking up a series just to like see what's going on these days, no.
No.
Like
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, man. So this is still a rumor, obviously.
Yeah.
Although it says Denzel is officially confirmed as Dormammu. No, he's not. Otherwise, it'd be in Variety, my friend.
Yeah.
But this is not the first time I've seen this week. So I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and run with this as a rumor that Sam Raimi is coming back for Doctor Strange 3. This is not the first time we've heard this. We've heard that he's been in talks, or Marvel's trying to been in talks with him to come back.
Yep.
And also that Clea would be coming back for part 3. all rumors that we've been hearing since the end of part 2, and I'm really hoping that they are starting to look true. Especially the fact that Raimi, yes, is coming back. I don't care so much about Clea. Like, this is gonna take effect. Well, Clea might be at the end of Agatha. We'll see. Because she eventually betrays Steven, and she goes for the darkness.
Okay.
At least in a video game that I recall playing.
At least I played that in a video game once.
Yeah, she's Sorceress Supreme in one universe, or she tries to take his power to become Sorceress Supreme, something like that. But she screws Steven over. Evil. Mephisto.
I like
will be
Charlize. I'm pretty okay with that, but
oh sure. I'm really glad that Raimi will come back. If he really is coming back, I'm super happy because like he brought a whole lot of happiness for me to part 2.
I like part 2. I don't love it though. It's got some real issues.
It's got some real issues, and it's got the same issues that Spider-Man had with Endgame, where Marvel didn't tell about the snap. So instead of this having quote unquote the snap in Spider-Man, you have the blip. Because they omitted that information. In Doctor Strange 2, like it completely omits the fact that Wanda's rationally looking for her kids. Like they neglect to tell you that the Darkhold has possessed Wanda and turned her evil.
How dare they?
Yeah, like they either left some shit out or they didn't tell Sam Raimi everything that they were planning with Wanda. I don't know. Or he didn't know how the ending of WandaVision was going to go when they gave him the reins to use Wanda in Multiverse of Madness. No! Fuck you.
But Denzel, you know, that could be pretty interesting. I never thought I'd actually see him do like a comic book movie to be legit with everybody.
Oh, if they make his
he doesn't need it, but hey, if it gets him a nice paycheck.
Hey, man, that'd probably be one of his sickest roles or one of his sickest lines that he could give since Fallen. Like,
I love that fucking movie, dude.
Oh man.
Nobody ever talks about that one, and I'm like, that movie is pretty rad. You got to pay attention. If you pay enough attention to the movie, you can kind of see how it's going to end. But it got me because I wasn't paying attention. But by the end of the movie, you're fully enthralled, and you're like, oh shit, that's pretty fucking cool.
But yeah, I mean, everything about him in that movie, like, I want to see him as Dormammu. He would be awesome because he was dope as Azazel.
Yeah.
Nerd. Anyway.
I don't like you.
I always liked you. On the happier sides of things, James Gunn says, who might this be? In a teaser for, God, I can't even think of his fucking name.
Peacemaker.
Thank you, Peacemaker Season 2. I'm going to say it's Rick Flag. My money is Rick Flag. Or...
I don't think so.
Joe Mama.
Joe Mammy?
Joe Mammy.
I don't think it's Joel Kinnaman. He said he doesn't want to do that, so...
Yeah, he methinks the lady doth protest too much because he was pretty shitty about it, actually.
Yeah.
Like, basically, he said he didn't want to work for James Gunn again. It's like, ouch.
Yeah, I don't understand what happened there, but hey, I respect that. You know, you don't want to work with somebody you think was a douche. Hey, don't do it.
I mean, was he upset because Flag got killed?
I don't know.
I mean, I didn't like it, but I mean, whatever.
Well, that's the one thing that surprised the shit out of me in that movie. I'm like, oh, you actually fucking killed them. Interesting.
Yeah, like, and he was the most like interesting version of Flag that I've ever seen. Like, it was,
I know, right?
because he's like a bland prick in the comics and the cartoons.
Yeah, he was so interesting in the Suicide Squad movies. I'm like, hey, this is pretty interesting. More of this, please. Okay, maybe not.
Maybe not.
No, let's just let John Cena as Peacemaker just kind of pop him.
I don't have a problem. I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't. Again, I liked Rick, so I can't be like, well, fuck him. But
Yeah,
I liked Peacemaker a lot, and I can't complain terribly. I like that killing Flag sticks with Peacemaker even through the TV series. Like it still bothers him.
and I liked Peacemaker enough.
Yeah,
I had some problems with it, but for the most part, I was like, that was all right.
yeah. It's the building point for James Gunn's new universe.
No, actually, it has nothing to do with the new universe. It's season 2 that will have something to do with this universe. It's basically season 2 is now splitting off into this new universe. One of the few things he's cherry picked from previous universes and bringing into this next one, but he is changing things to make this feel like it is a different Peacemaker in universe.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
So this will be Rick Flag Sr.
Could be.
That would be my second guess because I have heard that name being kicked around the interwebs lately.
So bitch flag.
Bitch Flag. You killed my child.
Let your bitch flag fly, everybody. Woo!
And let's see here. You're getting all
Aaron Pierce.
Yes, Lanterns has announced that they found their Jon Stewart. And I heard people going, why? Really? Why?
They've only been talking about this for like a freaking several months now.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at Jon Stewart, for fuck's sake. That's why. I mean, look at this guy. Like,
he's jacked. His face fits. It's like, and he's a good actor.
Wow.
I have no problem with this at all.
That's Jon Stewart, y'all.
This is damn good casting.
This is really good casting.
Yeah. So again, good on you, James Gunn.
Oh yeah.
As
Say what you will about what he's doing, but he's casting very well, in my opinion. Now, would I have preferred Nathan Fillion as Hal Jordan? Damn fucking right I would have. But he's going to play Guy Gardner.
That fits even better.
Yeah, I know. I really want to see it in action before I really pass judgment, though. I want one bad line from him, you know.
I'm just curious to see if they're ever going to bring Kyle Rayner into any of these.
They might.
Because that would make me, I mean, he's my favorite of the Lanterns. That would make me a very happy guy.
I think ultimately they want to get to a spot where they could do a Green Lantern Corps movie.
That would be awesome.
But I think they're trying to get Lanterns on a strong footing right now with the show and as well into the movie. So they're slowly rolling this out. So I think we're going to build to a Green Lantern Corps movie.
I'd be down for that.
So would I.
And my wife is a big Jon Stewart fan in the Green Lantern comic book. So yeah, this is an okay casting.
As long as we don't have animated suits, we're good.
Yep. Ain't animated. I don't want a super suit, and I don't want it to be animated.
I thought it was cool. Oh, speaking of animated, well, the lightning. Zachary Levi reportedly is upset because he thought his role as Billy Bastion or Shazam was going to earn him the same status that Chris Evans has in Hollywood and in America's hearts as Captain America.
What made him think that?
This is like secondhand information, though. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
how far I would really go with this because he also just had a conversation about who he was backing in the election. And I am not trying to, we're not going political, but he's come out in support of Trump. And now all of a sudden shit like this starts coming out. It's like, this is kind of a hit piece.
I don't see him not having that status in America's hearts per se as Shazam.
But him being bitter that he didn't become a Rock or Chris Evans, like, you gotta have an ego twice their size to think that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just don't see that coming out of his mouth.
I hope not, because like I've loved him since Chuck, like truly. Golly, I don't want this to be true because I would have to make fun forever.
I put this in the a person I know a person who knew a person who heard something like this. Unless somebody can show me a strict quote straight from Zachary Levi, I'm taking this with a grain of salt.
Saying that bitch Chris Evans.
This makes me think of Deadpool and Wolverine. I wouldn't say that. I never said that. And then yeah, he fucking said that shit. So, you know, I could be easily wrong, but I'm taking this with a big pinch of salt for this headline.
God, I want to watch Deadpool now. Anyway, agreed.
Damn right.
I wanted to bring this on just because I like both of them. And a fair warning, if it is true, I will make fun. But I love Zachary Levi. So again,
and I like Chris Evans, you know. So
he is Captain America. I don't give a shit.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Is
That's
he anything
America's
else?
ass.
No, he's not even Johnny Blaze. Until he gets his skin ripped off of him.
Oh, I'm going to be quiet for this one. I'm deferring this story to you, sir.
Yep, Henry Cavill to star in Voltron for Amazon MGM Studios. And yeah, this was announced. And to be frank, I see two things immediately. First thing I see is Amazon MGM. Their track record fucking sucks.
Yes.
I don't know how much I even give a shit about this, but in the other same breath, I like Henry Cavill. I'm a big Voltron guy. If he is not Keith, I don't know what the fuck they're doing with this. And I'm afraid they're really going to fuck this up. I mean, we've all been wanting a live action Voltron for years. It's never happened. There's been scripts, there's been attempts, but it's never gone anywhere. Now, all of a sudden, they're going to start doing this now. And it's Amazon MGM, who have a terrible track record of shit right now. I will watch this. I'm very much walking into this with not just a bag of a pinch of salt, but a whole fucking dump truck the size of Texas going into this. Like, I am so afraid they're going to fuck this up. Because if he's not Keith, I don't know what the fuck they're thinking.
I'm going to assume they're going to fuck it up just because, like you said, it's Amazon MGM. They could make him Lotor. That wouldn't necessarily be bad casting. Because he could probably pull that off.
I might give you that one. I think he'd be a really good Keith, though.
He would.
But I'd be concerned about age on that. But
yeah, I mean that was the first thing I thought of when I saw this story was, oh, they're making him Keith. But the more I think about it, they could possibly, go the Lotor route.
I could see that face as Lotor.
Yeah.
Kind of really depends on what they're going with the story, though.
That's the other thing that I'm a little concerned about. Is with the story, are they going to go with like the classic stories from like 40 years ago? Are they going to do more like Legendary Defender from the last 10 years? They're going to try to split the difference.
They got to be very careful what they're going to adapt here. Or if they're just going to completely make their own fucking thing, I'm not even going to bother.
That's the other concern I have.
I don't want fucking straight up reboot, reset, remake, and everything in between. No, either go with Go fucking Lion or you go with the Legendary Defender. I'd prefer they go with the original version.
Same.
Even though I did like the Netflix Voltron, I I liked it a lot. I do have some issues with both series, but the original's like my pride and joy. I absolutely fucking love that one. So I'd prefer they go with that. You can make it, you could script it definitely better and do the dialogue better. I have no doubt about that. But this needs to be good because Henry's had a couple misses lately too, and I'm very concerned about his choice in roles lately, even though he is going to be shooting The Highlander starting in January. They won't start shooting this. It says we'll shoot this fall in Australia. This fall? Like right fucking now? That means you do have a script. You have more cast than this. This makes like no fucking sense to me, especially if he's starting in January. You're saying this is going to have a shoot of like literally less than like 60 days because they don't shoot through Christmas vacation time, period. I'm very concerned about that.
Yeah.
And I did not like the Red Notice movie. So I don't know what to say about this other than not keen on this. I like Henry Cavill. I like him being cast in it, but this has to be right and it's got to be good. They haven't done a Stargate. They screwed up the Expanse at the end, and what they're doing with Rings of Power is completely tragic. It's a terrible show. Like, do we really need to go down the list? They canceled the fucking Tick after 2 seasons. And they're holding it hostage. They won't let anybody else handle it, even though there's been offers for it. So fuck them. Fuck this. I'm like I said, I'll fucking watch it, but if it ain't good, I'm gonna be railing on this bitch.
And I'll be right there with you.
I still think we should ask Mr. Edlund to talk with us about the Tick.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get back to reviewing that show. We had to take it off our docket in August because of real life situations, but it's going back on the docket. Don't worry, everybody.
The stuff he told me for season 3, I was like, oh, it was more than just Thrakazog. I was like, that is so cool. Like, I got goosebumps when he told us.
Those bastards.
Yeah. Anyway.
But that's all I got on the Voltron end, Kevin.
And that was all I had for the quick picks for the news this week.
And I got a couple things then. Let's see here. Well, we were just talking a little bit about Joker, but piggybacking off of that, Terrifier 3, the real Art the Clown, is dethroning that motherfucker this weekend. It debuted with $8.2 million on Friday, and it is on track to get about $18 million for the weekend and be number 1, dethroning Joker from last weekend, which had its disappointing thing. So, and this is an independent horror movie, had a small budget, which I will show you on the next screen. It had a budget of $5 million. And let's bring that up here. Exhibitor Relations Co. I highly recommend everybody follow this account if you're very curious about box office. They're pretty quick and they provide constant updates. I really like them. Highly recommend shouting them out there. But who needs ratings? Who needs studio support? Not Terrifier 3. Indie horror has its shining moment as Damien Leone breaks the system with its horror threequel, taking the top spot. $18 million this weekend. All in, including advertising, this cost less than $5 million. This has already made more money than the Joker probably will.
Wow.
Impressive. And it's only in like 2,000 theaters. If this was in like a mass run, like say 3,000 to 4,000, this would be more money than this.
No doubt, man. People would be like, it would be the movie to see for the weekend.
And there's some notoriety going on with this movie. It's got a great marketing campaign where people are scared in the theater walking out because it's so bloody and gory. I haven't seen it yet. We've had stuff going on this weekend, but I'm going to be seeing it sometime next week, and I'm looking forward to either getting sick or enjoying the shit out of it. So
maybe both.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen a movie like on this level of gore in a long time. So, and it's an indie movie. Totally got to support our guy out there. And we got some friends of the show here. We got Justin out there. He's a big Terrifier fan too. I'm curious to hear what he thinks when he gets a chance to see it. Dude, if you've seen it and I missed one of your streams and you were talking about it, sorry, but I'm going to be seeing it soon, and I'm trying to stay away from too much spoilers. But it does sound like they're setting this up for Terrifier 4, which was kind of hinted at, a few weeks ago on our live stream. So, but this is really good news box office wise, and I love to see horror get its due, and it's exciting. Really like it.
Cool beans. Well, good for them. I'm shocked at the $5 million budget. That's amazing.
Hey, he did it all on his own. That's fucking awesome.
Practical effects.
Yeah. And I've heard they did some crazy special effects that'll make you wonder how the fuck did they do that?
We killed hookers.
And sort of blow off their dead bodies. Oh my god. Kevin, you are a bad influence.
He always has been.
It's my thing.
And let's see here.
It's your superpower, buddy.
It's my nature.
It's his superpower. All right, guys. And something that just came out this week was Hellboy, the Crooked Man from, yes, Ketchup Entertainment. I don't know. This is another indie horror movie, so to speak. I mean, everybody kind of knows Hellboy from the Guillermo del Toro movies, the comic books, or like the animated movies that they did back in 2006, 7-ish. And, this just came out. It's available for purchase right now on Amazon for about $20. You can't exactly rent it yet, but, it sounds like Chad and I both watched this. Kevin, before we get to some review here, what did you think about this? I know you haven't had a chance to see it, but, do you know anything about the Crooked Man, or you got any thoughts on this?
All I know is that the creator had more of a hand in making it the movie this time. And he's been saying this is the movie that he's wanted to make for the longest time. So I hope that means for fans of the comics that this is a good flick. I don't know. I really like the first two Guillermo del Toro movies. I really did. But I can't turn my nose at the third. I haven't seen it. I can't turn my nose at this one because from what I understand, nothing could be worse than the third. And even you've said that this is much, much better than that.
Well, and David Harbour's Hellboy wasn't even really the third movie.
No.
I think we were cracking a joke before the stream, Hellboy's got the problem of threes.
Yeah.
You can't get a third Guillermo del Toro Hellboy movie. You can't get a third animated movie. And this movie has now had this franchise 3 different starts for live actions, and they still can't quite nail it after Guillermo. But, that being said, I watched this today with my wife, and while it is a bit on the lower budget side, it's actually a fun movie. It's really enjoyable. The runtime is pretty crisp, and it never feels like it's dragging too long. If anything, some of the CGI moments are a bit dated. It feels like this is special effects from early PlayStation 4 games, or even movies from say 10 years ago. So you definitely feel that, but there is a lot of practical effects in this that are freaking killer. There's a specific scene where a body hopper returns to a body. That was so fucking awesome. I don't want to get too spoilery for anybody who does want to see it, but my wife and I, we really enjoyed this. Actually, it was actually a lot of fun. Nobody was phoning this in. Acting was pretty good. It looked like everybody was having a hell of a time. And one of my favorite characters was the freaking priest.
Oh, he was great.
That appears during the back half of the movie, and he slayed me so much with some funny lines. And all the characters actually had roles in this. There wasn't just a bit role that's just oh, that's just checking a box, or oh, this makes no sense. That person's just here to be a part of a body count. No, everybody had a role, and it's set during the 50s, and it had a very satisfying conclusion, and I had a fun time watching this. But Chad,
So,
what are your thoughts?
my thoughts. This felt to me like an old Hammer horror movie.
Yeah.
Right down to the title card. Because my spouse and I watched this, I want to say Wednesday. No, not Wednesday. It was
Okay.
Thursday we watched it. And we were both just sucked in pretty much immediately. Kev, you may have a problem with it because there's a giant spider at one point.
Yeah.
Big spider.
The preacher.
A giant fucking spider?
Yep.
Giant fucking spider.
Yeah.
Preacher was great. The preacher, I had to look this up, was played by the guy who was the butler in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, that was him?
That was him.
Oh, shit.
That was Jeffrey. Yeah, I had to fucking look that shit up. Also, this was an adaptation of a Hellboy story, the Crooked Man. I actually, halfway through, I fucking ordered the graphic novel.
Oh, cool.
Which I got today, and I read through, and there was also a follow-up story, The Return of Effie Kolb, which was pretty good. My nephew's borrowing it right now, but
fucking Effie.
Yeah, Effie. I went into this with zero.
What a smoke show, but man, that character was fucking wild.
Oh, she was. I mean, I went into this with no expectations, and I fucking love the Hellboy movies. I mean, I've said this before. I've got the right hand of doom on the inside of my right forearm. And the only real problem I had, especially with pictures of Jack Kesey, who plays Big Red in this, is, and my nephew agreed with me on this, is Kesey is a smaller guy compared to Harbor and compared to Ron Perlman.
Yes.
And Hellboy's a big dude. Kesey's not a big dude, but he fucking embodied the role. He got the gruffness down. When he utters, "Oh crap," it's like, nope, he's right.
Yep.
He's totally right. The right hand of doom looked right. The fact that he and the Crooked Man were all done with makeup effects.
Yes.
Was just, I mean, they're, yeah, like you said, some of the CGI effects were dated looking, but honestly, for me, that added to the charm.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And for me, this was about an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. That was $20 well spent. I fucking love this movie.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get this on Blu-ray. I'd probably go a little more 7.5 out of 10. It's certainly better than the David Harbour one. And I appreciated the fact that Jake was actually more channeling, like, hey, what worked before was really Ron Perlman, and I felt like they did a great job with the effects, and he did a great job encompassing Ron Perlman while making it his own Hellboy.
Exactly.
And that is the kind of hybrid you wanted. David went too much the other way. He went too much more into, I'm making this my own goddamn role. Whereas you could have incorporated a little bit of Ron Perlman's act into it, but I understand what they were trying to do. They were really trying to do a complete reset reboot with that. This feels more like, no, we're trying to make this feel like this is actually set before the original Hellboy 1 and 2 with Guillermo del Toro. That's kind of how I felt watching this, was like, hey, this is a good little setup. And then you mentioned the title cards. At first, I'm like, were they intending to make this kind of like a 3-episode little mini series or TV show? Because of the way those cards came up, I was not expecting that. And so it kind of threw me off. I'm like, what the fuck was going on here? I'm like, all right. By the time we got to the third one, I'm like, okay, I think I get it. These are the different names of the comics that this is based off of. We're hitting those as certain acts evolve into the plot. So.
And just going off of what you were saying, especially with like the David Harbour thing, is that Hellboy was more like a petulant teenager.
Yeah.
And if you go into like the timeline, Hellboy was conjured up in 1944. It's 1959 in this movie, so he's 15 basically. And the fact that they didn't
Yeah.
have him acting more like like the rebellious teenager like he was acting like in the 2019 movie, it just yeah, I watched that movie once, and that was too many times.
Yeah, I hear you on
But
that.
this is a movie I'm gonna go now that I have read the comic. I'm gonna go back and rewatch this and just see little details that I may have missed the first time around.
Do they talk
Yeah.
about Howdy Doody?
They do make references to Howdy Doody.
Yeah.
He refers to the Crooked Man as Howdy Doody.
Nice.
And there is one mention of Professor Broom, but they don't show him at all in the film.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
really?
the one thing to note is it's very separate from the BPRD in that they're trying to complete like a transport mission of bringing the spider back into headquarters. But something awakens the spider, the train gets derailed. Well, a section of the train gets derailed, and then they have to go try and track down the spider, and they come across this crooked man issue going on in the forest that they're in. So
Yeah. And then also the difference between one of the differences between this and the Del Toro movies is that Hellboy and the existence of the BPRD are public knowledge. So people know who he is. There's reference to it was like a Life magazine article about Hellboy that another character named Tom had seen.
Oh, wow.
So people do know about Hellboy. They do know about the BPRD. And they actually delve a little bit more into Hellboy's origins, not so much the being conjured up in that church in 1944, but even before that, how Hellboy himself came about.
Gotcha.
So there's a little bit of that sprinkled in there, which wasn't in the original story because that was an earlier one, and I don't know if Mignola had actually fleshed out Hellboy's origins quite as much at that point as he had in the later stories, where they did talk about basically Hellboy's parentage.
His mammy and pappy?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But
It was
like
a
I
fun
said,
movie.
oh, it was a lot of fun.
I'll check that out then. I don't know that I'll
Yeah.
see the David Harbour one still, but I'll check this out.
The only reason I watched the David Harbour one is because I was able to get it out of the library. I didn't spend any money on it.
That's fair.
I actually bought that out of like the $5 bin at Walmart. It had the slipcover. It looked really cool. I'm like, oh, I've been meaning to watch this. I watched it. I'm like, even Mila, lady, girl, even you didn't know what the way your direction your character was going. And it's like, it was directed by freaking Neil Marshall. Like, come on, dude. You're so much better than this.
Studio involvement.
And then,
Mike
of course,
Mignola involvement.
the big, just like looks wise between Kessie's Hellboy and Harbour's is Harbour's Hellboy almost looked pink.
Yeah.
They
Like
did
Red
not
Hulk.
get the red right.
It was
Yeah,
the
at least
color
in
of Big
this
Red
with the
gum.
Crooked Man they did.
Mm-hmm. I was very pleased with that movie.
Right on. Yeah, that if anything, as a last thought on that, it really makes me want to go back and watch all the other Hellboy movies. And so my wife and I did actually go and watch like the Blood and Iron one. So
Oh, love that
that
one.
was pretty good.
If you haven't had a chance to watch Hellboy animated, do that. You've got the cast of the Del Toro movies voicing their characters. I mean,
Selma
even
Blair, Ron Perlman, all of them.
and you got John Hurt back to be Professor Broom in Blood and Iron.
Okay.
Yes. And he was the standout on that.
He was.
That in itself is a treat.
And I was watching a behind the scenes on that a while back, and Hurt had a little bit of an issue getting into the character because it was so much different in the animated as opposed to how he was in the live action movies. So he had to kind of get into a different headspace with Trevor Broom than he had originally.
He wasn't Papa anymore?
No. He was not Dad.
Interesting.
It was this was more based off of the comics as opposed to Del Toro's films.
Gotcha.
So again, Hellboy and the BPRD are public knowledge.
Yeah.
Huh. Very groovy.
Even in Crooked Man, they mentioned you were on the cover of Time magazine.
Yep.
That's when you know you made it, everybody, when you're on the cover of Time.
That's right.
Well, speaking of being on the cover of other things, there was a couple other Marvel things we want to hit up quick, and then we'll say goodbye to everybody for the night. But we do have a couple more things. Let's hit up Mr. Marvel. Captain America Brave New World has been receiving some very poor test screenings, everybody. So it's still not good. Is anybody shocked?
No.
Aaron, Chad? Anybody watching chat? Shocked? I'm not.
What did they think was going to happen? Like,
they reshot this movie fucking 3 times or twice. So they've shot this movie like 3 times.
Take the Star of David off of that woman and see what happens. See if people like it. Like,
oh my god.
What
did they expect?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, were you gonna like re-edit this so many different ways that like at some point there was gonna be some fucking magical editing combination that it was gonna be cool?
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, I don't know.
Like, man, they should. This is not good heading into like their Fantastic Four next year. It feels like, oh, hey, let's just finish putting out all of our shit products and just further alienate our fans that are still sticking around and give them even more mediocre to lame shit.
I mean, yeah, that's really what it feels like is still just getting out the last of that Phase 4 stuff. And it's like, I'm tired of it. I'm glad that, you know, Agatha's finally coming around. That's the only thing from Phase 4 that I was kind of like, all right, let's continue Wanda's story here. But this, I'm not that interested in Sam and Bucky anymore.
Yeah. No, they've screwed up Bucky. And Sam should have just been his own character. He was fine as Falcon. And from what I understand in the comics, he was very good as Falcon in the comic books. Never needed to be fucking Captain America.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
That's what I understand.
I was never a fan of Falcon in the comic books ever.
Okay.
I didn't like him until I saw Anthony Mackie play him in the movie, and then I was kind of like, yeah, that's a much cooler version of Falcon than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
And he wasn't telepathically connected to birds.
No.
Right on.
Forgot about that. But no, he was kind of a hokier character and hokey looking. Like, could have come out of the back of a He-Man box. Was
Thundercats.
Not that fucking interesting compared to the rest of the Avengers. You're like, all right there, y'all. Like, you're just trying to shoehorn people in there.
Yeah,
anyway.
That's very true.
I don't know. I'm glad they stuck with him and kept giving him better stories than what the character was initially given. But Anthony Mackie was a much better Falcon than what I remember Sam Wilson being in the comics.
Yeah.
For me personally, anyway.
Yeah, I'm not too high on Anthony Mackie as like a leading man. I mean, he ruined Altered Carbon season 2 as far as I was concerned. So I'm not that big a fan of him, but he's okay in bit roles. I don't think he's a top billing actor though. That's just my opinion. But speaking of mooning the audience, Marvel Studios has reportedly a really exciting idea for Moon Knight Season 2. Does anybody even care after Season 1? Oscar Isaac will also return as the character in the MCU. So Moon Knight's not done, everybody. They're going right back to it. They're trying to maybe reboot it a little bit. Now, I did watch a little bit of Moon Knight, and I found it incredibly stupid. I made it about 3 episodes in, and I'm like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And I like Egyptian stuff like that in Arabic. You know, that kind of world. So
I watched the pilot, and it was okay. It didn't get interesting until the very end.
Yeah.
When you actually see him beating the bag off of all those guys in that, what was it, the bathroom?
Yeah, the bathroom.
Yeah. That looked cool. But otherwise, yeah, like it was kind of a slow pilot.
And the show, yeah, I never made it much further because I just was like, you know what? I like the Egyptian stuff, but this is incredibly fucking stupid.
That's too bad. That is too bad.
But, you know, if they're doing what they're doing with Daredevil, it sounds like they're starting all over again. And maybe their idea of season 2 is what they're doing with Peacemaker season 2 as well. But this is the Marvel version of, hey, we know that this didn't work the last time, but let's just put it in a different universe and just change shit. And people will forget about season 1.
He's mentioned in the first 2 episodes of Blade. They bring him up.
The TV show that we're covering next? Yeah.
Yeah, they bring his name up in there. Oh, they ask a question about werewolves, and this guy says, "Oh, my associate Mark Spector is more of a professional in that area." And like, oh, it's Moon Knight. So, because he comes about in Werewolf by Night.
We're doing a little commercial at the moment. Blade TV show is our next podcast we're going to be recording during the week. So, everybody, if you like your Blade, those are our next 2 movies on our 0 Point reviews, and that is our next podcast episode covering Blade the TV show.
Yeah.
So that should be fun. Awesome. And in other news, new details for Spider-Man 4 have reportedly been revealed. There'll be multiple symbiotes in the film. There's a strong possibility that Toby and Andrew are back, and the film is slightly leaning towards a cosmic storyline rather than the street level. So, but there was another headline that announced that Michael Keaton was coming back as Vulture. So some of this could be interesting. I don't know, but it sounds like they're trying to do that symbiote stuff with Venom and whatnot.
Yeah, because they have to keep the symbiotes in the Sonyverse now, don't they? Like
there seems to be some sort of agreement going on. So they're trying to bring Tom Hardy and Venom into the Disney Marvel universe. So
okay,
makes sense that they finally signed something and that Tom Holland's now back on board with all that because he's coming back, and it's being set in as he's in college.
I'm okay with that. I didn't necessarily like the way that the last movie ended, but
right.
I mean, it is what it is. There's fucking wide open space for another movie to happen.
I just want Spider-Gwen. I'll be all right.
I don't.
Black Cat, Cindy Sweeney.
That I want. But that will end up being a Sony movie, I'm sure.
Yeah, very likely. And beyond that, I don't have any other headlines other than I was going to ask if you guys were watching Agatha still.
I'm behind. I'm 2 episodes behind.
I watched it. I watched it Thursday morning. I meant to watch it Wednesday night in bed, just to escape my family and go watch my stories in bed. And unfortunately, I didn't. So I watched it early, first thing Thursday morning before the sun even came up, and it like the ending kind of gave me goosebumps. It was really cool. I greatly enjoyed it. It teeters again on being repetitious. It's following the same formula every week. They have to reach a certain point in the road that's a different house, and the different house is a different genre of television in a way, or culture, not necessarily just television. This was, I don't want to be too spoilery, but it was more of an 80s type vibe.
Okay.
It was fun, and it got scary at the end, but scary in a good way. And then without revealing too much, certain secrets are starting to be revealed now on who is who. People are more in tune to whose characters are really what they're like.
Okay.
Like who's trustworthy, who's not trustworthy, shit like that. It was a really, really good episode compared to, say, the first. The first is still caca.
Yeah.
The first was not bad. It just wasn't as good as the rest of the show. It's not a good representation of what the show is.
Okay. Because my big question would be like, I've heard some people feel like it's getting too much of the same as the last episode. Like each of these episodes just feels like rinse, repeat, recycle, with only minimal amounts being introduced like towards the end of each episode. And from what I'm hearing is like, if they would just kind of tighten this up, they could have maybe like not made this feel so repetitive to people. And when you said repetitive, it made me think of that question to ask you. If they could have cut like a couple episodes out and just focused on the actual events that are interesting, if that would have made a little bit more interesting for you.
Yes, like let's not focus on getting to this house. Let's focus on the Salem 7 that are hunting Agatha and her coven. Okay. Let's focus on the strength of the coven as it gets smaller and smaller.
Okay.
Like there's other things that you could focus on as opposed to we got to get to that house. All right. What's my motivation? We got to get to that house. Like
just get to the house.
Yeah, so it is formulaic in a way. I will not deny that. But it is fun because it's a bunch of catty bitches arguing with one another. Like that's really what this show is about, and it's quite funny. It really is funny. It's not a bad show. Okay. It's so much better than what The Acolyte is. And dear God, when somebody fucking hits the dirt, their clothes are dirty.
What?
Yeah, like it was so crazy.
Logic, common sense. No.
And at the fucking fraction of the cost of The Acolyte.
Fraction, baby. Time for math with Kev.
I don't know. I'm liking Agatha so far. Like for what I want out of it, which is just Catherine Hahn being able to be a big bitch and be scary. It's a good show. It's not trying to be anything more or less than what it is.
All right. Chad, you got any thoughts, or did you say you were not caught up?
Like I said, I was out of town last week, so I'm behind. I got to get caught up.
Yep. Well, Kevin was fair and didn't get too spoilery with things,
and I appreciate that.
It gets good. It gets good, and it gets fun.
All right. Yeah. The only other thing is I'm watching Penguin. I know you guys are not. It's like the reverse.
Which I'm sure this is like probably the smarter show.
It very much is. And I'm enjoying the hell out of it. And I'll keep it like super quick and non-spoilery. But, you know, I like what they're doing with Vic. They're clearly going somewhere with him as a sidekick to Penguin, who doesn't like being called the Penguin. When he gets called Penguin, like basically more than once, he gets very violent and aggressive, which I really appreciate. And Colin Farrell and the entire cast are just acting the hell out of this. Writing and storylines really good. I really like a lot of the decisions they made. It you don't have to like the Batman movie to enjoy this show. As a matter of fact, they only barely reference a little bit of the Batman. They don't actually reference Batman at all at the moment. There's rumors that something's going to be happening later on that they actually talk about Batman himself or Bruce Wayne. But as far as like the movie, they reference the events here and there, but they don't dwell on it and beat it over your head. They just casually remind you and present things from a different perspective, the events of the end of the Batman. So that's fun to see, but you don't have to see the Batman to enjoy the Penguin. So you can watch the Penguin on its own and not worry too much about it. And quality is really good. I'm actually very impressed with the show so far. I just hope it sticks to landing like a lot of people feel the same way.
I'm sure it will. I mean, it's a Warner Brothers. I mean, oh, never mind.
You almost had yourself convinced, didn't you?
Yeah.
Thanks, Kev.
Springtime for heat. Anyway, I'm really sure it will. Colin Farrell, I don't think he'd sign on for something shitty.
No, he's not. And he was a real standout in the Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you didn't like the Riddler or whatever, just about everybody was like, Colin Farrell was really good as Penguin. Then you hear about the show getting announced and it's like, really making a show about that? And Colin Farrell's doing it? It might be okay. Then you heard early reviews from early access people and they're like, this show is so good. Now everybody's watching this. It's like, yo, this show is actually really good.
and now he's
Colin
like,
is
fuck, I have to do that again.
Fantastic.
He doesn't want to put the makeup on again. He doesn't want to do another season.
No, I think the most you could do is you could probably get him back for another movie. And he very well may, because this is a bridge to the Batman sequel that they are going to be making.
Yes.
And I could see him being a part of the second movie. After that, who knows? But I would argue we haven't had a Batman TV show, live action, in a very long time. I don't count Gotham. I don't count any of those other shitty shows where he does a cameo in or anything like that.
He's not
Maybe
allowed.
You take the Batman 2 and you make that an actual TV show in this universe. You can recast Robert Pattinson, get a different Batman. I think it'd be pretty dope. Just have him do his usual detective thing. Be an easy formula. The stories are already there in the comic books. It's money, and you guys own the fucking rights. And you already pay royalties. Give me Batman Hush, bitches.
Call Paul Dini. He knows all the stories.
Yeah, call Paul.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's got your detective series right there.
Goddamn right, man. I believe in Paul.
Yep.
All right, guys. Chad, what you up to next, and where can people find you?
I'm on Blue Sky Threads and Instagram. I'm at Mr. Peterman, and it's back to the 31 Days of Horror movies. I'm finally going to sit down and watch Trick or Treat. I have not seen that yet. That is my spouse. That is like probably top of the top for not just horror movies, but movies in general. So we're going to sit down probably tomorrow and we're going to watch Trick or Treat.
Now, is it Trick or Treat, or is it Trick or Treat?
Trick or Treat.
Okay. Because there's a couple different Trick or Treats out there.
It's the one with the little, the dude with the burlap sack on his head.
Yeah.
Sam.
I love that movie.
Gene's got a lot of shirts with Sam on it.
All right. Kevin watched it. I don't think he's a fan, but we're doing that coming up soon too. So he likes Krampus, the same director.
It's also the same director as X-Men Apocalypse, so I
haven't seen that.
It's okay. It's got Olivia Munn.
Deathlock.
And Oscar Isaac.
Psylocke.
Yeah. Who I believe she and John Mulaney just had a baby, didn't they? Speaking of entertainment news, reporting positive things. I think they did.
Well, we don't have any wacky Hollywood news this week.
Nobody farted on a chair that Gwyneth Paltrow wanted to sell.
And Diddy's not in the news, so
Diddy's caught.
Did he or didn't he? But Kevin, where are you at and what's up next?
I'm right here, and you could find us next coming up. What is it? This Tuesday on right here on the Suns and Shadows channel. We have 0 Point reviews coming out. We are working on the first Blade movie. After that, let's see here. Not this coming Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that, I believe, is going to be our Nostalgia TV review of the first season of Blade. That was also the only season of Blade, or was there two?
No, one.
No, it was just the one.
Yeah, and I have opinions on that, y'all. You didn't tell me Jill Wagner was part of that show. Like, it's the Jill show now.
I wanted you to be surprised.
I was. Anyway, yes. So Tuesdays and Wednesdays, you could find us here. Saturday nights at 9 p.m. on Deadwire Live, and really all throughout the week, we're cutting up and creating new videos and putting up new content for you right here on the Suns and Shadows video channel.
Goddamn right. And you can find me at all of our social medias at Suns and Shadows. On Instagram, we're at Suns and Shadows Cast. And thank you everybody for tuning in. Before you head on out tonight or morning, wherever you may be, I know we have a couple UK viewers out there, so thank you for tuning in. And make sure you hit that like button, subscribe down below, hit that little bell notification so you can stay tuned to all of our video content. And if you got any comments, hey, throw them down below, or you can always participate in our chat. We'd love to have you around. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We will see you next time.
Yeah.
Night, everybody.
Looks like you got some kind of alternate universe in there or something.
Yeah. All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.